Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Yeah, we in Eve, and yeah, I'm just gonna give a disclaimer. This video has a lot of negatives already. I got a hold on the full patch notes, not patch notes, on the notes on scanning. And oh my god. Seriously, if anybody knows any of the dev team personally, can you go knocking on their door with their most hated food and tell them if they want to buy their favorite food, they need to eat 10 of their most hated food before they can get to their favorite food, and see how they react to it. And when they react to it with the obvious, I don't want that, but why do I have to buy 10 of my most hated in order to get my favorite, then tell them it's simple like this. Why in the world do you have to have so much of PvP when there is a PvE aspect in your game? Why does everything have to involve PvP? That's exactly what they've just done with scanning. So let's go about the positives of scanning. They have a wide area scanner, and people who use the wide area scanner are going to be PvE players and generally good placed, well team-based players. They can scan for dead spaces and anomalous encounters, and they can also look for nihilist space, in other words wormhole space, that leads you into a parallel universe of our universe of Eve. So that is how you can get there, and you can then mine things out in that space. Okay, I'm really sorry about this. I'm a little bit frustrated with the next piece of information. Now, that first part, I absolutely understand how it works. You go through, you look for signals, you're going to get a ton of signals on your page, you have to narrow it down and you can get anomalies. Then you can redo the scan and narrow down the opposite list of anomalies, and you get a whole lot of other things that you can find in your sectors. So, there is your way to find dead spaces. Now, let's move on to the next thing with this whole craziness. The wormholes are just standard, they're a new sector. There's nothing to talk about them until they launch. Right, let's get into the narrow field scanner. The narrow field scanner allows players to search for players across low sectors, null sectors, but not in high sectors. Right. Now let's think about why wouldn't you interfere with high sectors, so that you can use the following statement. There are safe places for players to play. They just have to sit in high sec, where you can't make any money and you cannot progress through the game. It will make sure that you're stuck at T7 and that you can never ever purchase Omega, nor any new ships, because that is the way the game is intended to be played. We don't intend for any players to actually progress through our game. I'm just being absolutely sarcastic with that. And that's what we want. We don't want real players in our game. We want a bunch of money sponges who are willing to step all the money into this game so we can be rich. Yeah, That is Eve, by the way. That's my portrayal of Eve at the moment. A bunch of hillbilly. Do not swear, please do not swear at them. They deserve it, but do not use it. Yeah, sorry. You can see I'm holding back the rage. But nonetheless, more stupidity from Eve devs. Seriously, I'm not even sure we should call them devs. I think we have a bunch of imbeciles sitting behind that dev team saying, hey, you know what? Let's do something else. I want to kill more players in the game. Oh, for real? Yeah. I have unlimited funds because I am one of the dev team. Y'all have given us 6,000 credits a month. Yeah, we'll do this every month. Yay! Woohoo! Obviously, for them it's easy, so they can go around in PvP non-stop. And people from countries like Arabia and China can jump onto the game and blast through with phenomenal funds into the game, because things are cheaper for those currencies when it comes to gaming. But when it comes to people playing, say for example in the UK, the US, South Africa, Australia, the figures are astronomically huge. It can cost you your full month's salary just to play the game. While in China, it will cost you less than a couple of hours worth of work to play the game at the same rate as someone in the US. and that is the way that it is when you look at the pricings. Example, the packages for Plex, what is it, a couple hundred yen? That is a penance compared to most countries, because the yen trades very, very cheaply. If you take it to the US and you buy it in yen, you're spending cents. If you spend it in the US, 100 Plex is going to cost you about $5. Now you get it, that's inflation to a magnanimous point. That is the big problem with the game. The spending is affordable for some countries but not for all, and their rate of expenditure is going to go through the roof. Things like Plex are going to fly up again with this whole problem that they're causing, and trust me, it will flare up all over again. The fact that the Plex price stayed around the 2 million mark says that the game drained way too heavily after the insurance debacle and after their range of stupid moves. It's like they literally don't listen to anybody. We already know they don't listen to the community. We know they don't listen to good ideas. We know they don't think about the benefit to the community. We know they only worry about their pockets. And if you want to prove it in another way, right? When they manage to advertise this game and get it back up past 2 million and on the growing streak with good decisions, you can argue with me that they are doing things for the benefit of this game. The game hit 2 million in less than a week. I'm playing an early access game, Valheim, that beat 6 million in less than a month of early release. Basically in beta type release, it beat 6 million sales. And it wasn't a cheap game. And it is a fantastic game. And in no way are they driving microtransactions into the game. What about Eve? Eve could have been on the same run as this game, with microtransactions flying through the roof. They could be making $1 million a month if they were smart about it. They wouldn't have to worry about pushing so many pay-to-win events. Nonetheless, that's where I left. If they launch another event where you have to pay real money to take part in it properly, I will obviously be off the game during that period, and when the next big thing comes out, I'll join in after that. But yes, that's just the problem with Eve Echoes. Too much of influence on how they're going to earn money. They had a good mining source for money when it came to the start. All they had to do was allow that system to be huge, allow the money to flow through nice and easy. There's a reason why they cracked down on the farmers, right? The farmers did disappear from this game. The number of them shrunk to such small numbers that there was almost none of them around in the game, but in no way was that a positive driving force. When they did it for that purpose, they did it so they could make more money. When the miners were doing it, they were generating income in the game. And it was helping keep the game slightly balanced. Even though we may not like the fact that they were cheating the system by making real life money out of the game, it was the fact of the issue. They implemented the system so they could make more money. If they left that system open so that people could trade with actual money with each other instead of directly through the game, that would have been fine, right? If that was the way that the game was intended, that would be fine. But they said that isn't the idea. So the idea isn't to pay to get to the top of this game, but the whole way for you to get to the top of the game when scanning comes out is going to be pay. With people being able to intrude in you in low sectors, in story missions, their whole idea is carry someone else around with you. That is literally the most easy slapdash answer they could throw. They could say, oh no, we're going to release a module that hides all missions. The module will take up two weapon slots, but you will be able to hide away from enemies and take on story missions. There's a solution. It's a crazy solution, it's a ridiculous solution, but why won't they do it? Because it's too risky for them to have players who can make money without them draining out their funds. And yes, people will still be out in Nullstack making billions on weekends and weekdays, and that's those players in those massive corps who are draining areas from the game. And those players generally invest massive amounts of money into the game so they can keep themselves stable. And even they feel the pinch when the audience grows dumb. Like, what was it, less than a couple thousand a few months ago? And yes, it didn't have the impact of shrinking much smaller than a couple hundred of us leaving the game at a single go across a couple of weeks, which is equal to just less than 2,000 players, right? Just less than 2,000 players left the game. But that is the thing. If they keep driving the game in this endless cycle of, hey, we're going to cut players, here's how we're going to do it. I'm not saying that it's actually what they're saying. They actually bring it out like it's something fantastic. Wormholes are being introduced. There's going to be more earning opportunities for you. This is what they'll say. More earning opportunities for you. It's going to be a nice new experience. You're going to be able to go out into the unknown reaches where there are nothing from our systems, and you can have fun in those systems where everything has to be discovered. Yay, that is fun. Wide area scanners to find planets. Wide area scanners to find anomalies. Brilliant. And then we have the other side of it. Oh yay, yeah, well, let's see what we can do. We're giving people a chance to earn way more. The audience is going to grow a lot larger. We don't want people to stop spending their money for Plex. We need more Plex money. How are we going to do this? Let's see. People are going to play more. They're going to earn more. Let's increase PvP. It's the most stupid idea you can have, just by the way. Tons of people play PvP. You get people playing PvP in high sec. Not high sec, in low sec. You go around the planet and you have a fight when you're far away from the station, so you can't instant shot you. You get players who run around in the low reaches of null sec and gank players. And yeah, they have more than enough fun. But that's the problem. They already know players wanted more safety from the very, very start. They wanted more safeties in this game than there was in EVE Online. That is why so many players flocked to the game. Okay, I'm not going to cancel this and restart because I'm already deviating from where I started with the scanning. But nonetheless, narrow field scanners allows players to jump into your private missions, which are earned and paid for and very hard to actually acquire. They are so difficult that you stand a chance of losing your ship in the storyline missions. Now you can be PvP ganked in a storyline mission, and yes, it is gank. They can call it PvP all they want. They can say they're fighting fair, but everybody who jumps on you in a mission is just a bloody, sore, ill-equipped, unplayable, useless, who is jumping into a story to interfere with a hard playing individual. This individual has fitted his ship so that he can play against anomalies. This individual has fitted his ship with the most high-end specs so that he can earn the most in the game. But you want to interfere with his hardcore work, which will take him, let's see, to complete a Bad Hair Day storyline is about 10 missions. It's going to take me 6 hours to just complete the easy missions, and then another 3 hours to complete the form out missions on the higher end to get it done. So 9 hours to earn the mission, which is going to take me a number of days, possibly a number of weeks. And on top of that, to add insult to injury from the devs' point of view, they also make it even more difficult for you to complete the mission, because in the storyline missions, they run E-War like no man's business with speeds that are unattainable by us with any ship that we have. We can't attain those speeds no matter what we do. Even in the test server where we've played with such ridiculous speed mods that it's impossible for you to run in the regular game, by the way we've done it with triple speed mods, no firepower, no shield power, you're just basically run around. You can't match those ships. They are so fast that they will scoot around the map without you being able to touch them with that max speed, and your weapons become useless when it comes to the factor of how they negate speed realism within their Unreal Engine. That is the problem with EVE Echoes. No foresight on their bad decisions. They made things more difficult. When they made things easier, they immediately turn around and they make it more difficult. Is that what this game is supposed to be? You know what? They need to think carefully about what they're doing. They need to think about where they are, and this here is a reality of it. When you play a mobile game, You're not playing a hardcore, everlasting money pit, right? When you're playing an online game, you will casually add money to the game, right? I know a player who was spending a couple £100 on this game a month, right? He won't come back to this game because of how quickly you can sink all your money. They got too greedy. They make things too expensive. There's it. That's the reality behind this. The EVE devs are really not on our side as a community, and to be honest, PvE players band together. You know what? PvE Alliance is dead, right? They're never going to form up again. I'm not going to try and run it up again. It's impossible to do it at this point in the game. There's too many bigwig corps who are running too much of power on the other side of the situation. We need everybody to gather together, right? We need to form these nice little structures of players. We need to work together as a team, and we need to hurt the PvP corps. Yes, it means we have to do some PvP. But I don't mean go out to nullsec and hurt them. I mean we sit in highsec and we run missions 24/7 in numbers that are absurd to attack. Right, you have a sector with 100 people inside and you have 20 people completing a mission. And you'll have this idiot from a PvP corp decide, hey, let's go in. And the moment he comes in, everybody just scramble him. 100 marks on a ship is impossible to get out of. And you just blast into Kingdom Come. That is the way that we need to do it. We need to teach these PvPers that they need to leave the PvE game alone. It might take 2 or 3 months, but once that is done, everything will be perfect for us. Now, the game devs still don't get it through their head. PvE is the lifeblood of their game. And they want to squeeze PvE as hard as they can for money, because they are the more casual players as well, by the way. PvE players generally end up becoming way more casual over time than PvP players. PvP players end up investing way more time because they have to gank, they have to run around, they lose ships, they have to rebuild, they have to invest, rebuild, invest, rebuild. That's what they're hoping for. They're hoping for more fun for the PvP players. And how do you increase it? PvP match arenas. A quick fee to get them into the PvP match arena so they can have a fight. And obviously, yes, when it comes to fights, nobody wants to fight fair, right? When it comes to wars, you don't fight fair. That's why wars exist. When it comes to PvP, you fight fair. When it comes to gank, you fight like a little chicken that you are. You don't have any skill, you don't have any talent, you're unintelligent. That is why you play gank. You know what? If you want to play anything besides gank, you just go out, you look for a place where there's people fighting, you go through the YouTuber list, you find somebody hosting a tournament and you play in it. And if you play gank, hey, let's go hold up a gate and let's gank, then that is gank. If you're going around in a roaming fleet of 10 or 20 and you're killing everything in your line, that is a PvP fight. That's because you're moving through 10 or 20 gates. You could run into an army greater than your size. You have no idea what's ahead of you, using one scan forward, one scan backwards, and you're playing strategy. You're doing it for the sake of war, you're doing it for the sake of engaging in a fight. That is the way to do it. You're looking for the fight. You kill one person, you hope that they report it, and a whole force comes at you. But we don't have that anymore in the game. Nobody thinks about the bigger picture. One moment. So yeah, that's everything that I have to say. I hope that you do get a hold of this video, and yeah, you know what, it's following up the original video. And you know what, I might just push it into the slot directly past that video, so you'll get this here just after my original video. Enjoy it if you did. This video does require your likes, to be honest. It needs to be pushed higher. And you know what, if it does hit the devs, I hope that the devs receive that nice 10,000 views on this video, so they can look at it and they can say, oh boy, this guy hasn't even been on EVE that long again, and we already got 10,000 people saying we did something wrong. And when they see that, they might just change their mind and give PvE its rest and focus on making a proper PvP arena instead of slacking off, sitting behind a desk and implementing changes to the mechanics, which is way easier than building something new. You see, changing the mechanics is quite simple. All they've got to do is disable functions, and they disable safety function, remove safety, remove security, remove this, remove that. They never intended for low sex to be secure. They never intended for null sex to be secure. But the player bases wanted everything to have a security factor because it is mobile. If this game was on a PC, that would be a different story. You want there to be more danger, you want there to be more thrill. But we're not getting that because this is a mobile game. Okay, thank you all for watching. Catch you all in the next one.